Yo, I'm Nez, and I'm in the backyard, and yes, it's that time, baby. It's that time for that head-to-head. I've been talking it up for a minute. When I did the, review of the Popbabies, and then when I did the review of the Blendjet 2, I said I was going to put them head-to-head. So the time is finally here. We're about to get into it and see what it do. But, plot twist. I'm introducing a third option here. Now, this is a blender made by LAMAR. It's pretty much what you would consider an average budget blender. So I'm only throwing this in here to show you the difference in the power between these two. So why don't we just get right into it? But before we do this, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and then hit that notification bell so that way you can be notified whenever I put out videos such as this. And also, if you're feeling this video, give me a thumbs up if you wouldn't mind, and also hit that share button so that way you can let others know about videos such as this. Now that we got all the politics out the way, let's get into that head-to-head. Now, I have this I'm going to have this broken down into 4 categories. I don't know if I'm going to, label it, put it in the comments down, section separating the categories. But basically, I'm just going to give you a little brief overview of the similarities and differences. And then we're going to do ice and water crush. And then we're going to do a just plain water in fruit. Maybe I might use juice instead of water. We'll figure it out. A juice in soft fruit. When I mean by soft fruit, I mean like not frozen. And then I'm going to do an all frozen fruit with a little bit of juice just to get it going. And we're going to check one blend pours. So we're going to blend once and then pour to see, what the consistency looks like. And then if need be, we'll do a second blend to see what the consistency looks like after that, if need be. If it doesn't need a second blend, we won't do a second blend. We'll only do it if we need to. And then at the end, depending on how I feel at the end of this video and how long this video is running, I may add a 5th part where I just run them just to see how many times it could run. That's to be determined. We'll see. So why don't we get into that? Okay, first up, we have the Popbabies here. This is what it looks like in front. Let me just move things to the side. This is what it looks like in front. And then you have the Blendjet. Okay, this is what it looks like in front. Okay, you both have a nice button. There's a LED around it. This one is animated. This is just a regular LED. I forget if it blinks or not, but it does come on when it's running. On the back, the Popbabies has micro USB, which I'm a little bummed out about that. I wish it was a USB-C, but it is what it is. The Blendjet does have USB-C charger port back there. Neither of them have a pouring spout, however, the top does come off. And so there's a handle built in the top here, and this one has, a kind of a little rubber, handle to grab onto it. I'm having a brain fart as to what you call it. The Popbabies the top part can screw off of the base, so that way you can take just this part if you like, and you don't need to bring the base. But it's so portable, why not just bring all of it, right? And when you screw it back on, they'll let you know that it's on correctly. It starts blinking. This side right here, it does unscrew from the bottom, but it's just for cleaning, just so you can get access to everything, which I kind of like that. And then when you screw it back on, it'll let you know that it's good to go. When it turns that color when you screw it on, that lets you know that's good to go. Also, you can see that the arrows meet up there. That's how you know that it's good to go. All right, unscrew, red, good to go, gray. All right, arrows are lined up. All right, this one right here is 14 ounces or 400 milliliters up to here right here, but then you can add a little bit more. Maybe I would say maybe it's probably about 14.5 ounces. So maybe almost 15 ounces to the tippy top. This one right here, it's same thing, 14 ounces, 450 milliliters up right there, and then maybe you can add maybe like another 50 milliliters to the tippy top. This one right here, I think it's maybe a little bit more than that. So I'm gonna say this is more like probably like 15.5, maybe 16 ounces, whereas this one is just over 14 ounces. So it is a little bit more, you get a little bit more out of this one than this one. But, you know, it's you're talking about a difference in, you know, maybe like 50 milliliters, which is a shot, you know, or a shot and a half, I should say. So that's pretty much is where the differences and similarities end. Oh, well, price. Okay, now I just want to go over price real quick. When I initially shot my Popbabies video, the price of this was, I paid $23, I believe, for it. After their little coupon that they had, I ended up coming out to like $23 for this. This is 50 bucks, okay? It's just 50 bucks. Every now and then they'll throw in like a little 10% coupon that you can find them around pretty easy. So let's just say hypothetically, let's just say for just and giggles, you can get this easily for 45 bucks. This is still more than half. This is still half of the price of this. So right then and there, and the only reason why I even know about this is because when you go on Amazon, they don't sell the Blendjets on Amazon. When you type in Blendjet on Amazon, Popbabies always comes up. So after looking for the Blendjets for a while, and then trying to look for another type of blender, I kept getting rerouted back to this Popbabies. So I figured, you know what? They had a little, like I said, they had a little sale. The normal price of it was like $26 or $28, and I ended up paying like $23, $24 at the end. So I just grabbed it. And I tried it, and I freaking loved it. So it was well worth the $23, $24 that I spent on this. However, in lieu of its, you know, popularity now that all the TikTokers and everybody are using this, and, you know, instead of Blendjets and stuff like that, or the price has gone up. Now the price of this is $36. So now you have to wonder, is $36, is it still worth buying this for $36 when you can throw in another 10 bucks and get the Blendjet? We're gonna find out when I do a little head-to-head. And just now that we talked about those two, which is the stars of the show, I just want to talk about this one. This little blender is for LAMAR. This one is, I believe it's only 11 or 12 ounces. It does have this one's only, I believe I only paid 10 or 12 bucks for this. So this is extremely inexpensive if you're trying to get into the portable blender game. This does charge with USB-C, so which is I'm kind of bummed out with Popbabies, because Popbabies, this is a way better brand than this one, and they're still on micro USB. We're in 2020, 2021 now. I mean, everything should be on USB-C. There should be no more micro USB things. And one of the main downsides I have to this is the fact that, I mean, it's great because it's nice and compact, but the motor is on the inside of the cup, so you're taking up a lot of real estate. And you see how I drew a line with a magic marker on the outside, because on the inside it has that same fill line. So basically you're not supposed to fill up with ingredients past that line. So I drew that line on the outside so I can actually see without having to take this plastic off, I mean this rubber grip off. So all in all, you're only getting about a 10-ounce drink out of this, whereas at least with the Blendjet and Popbabies, you're getting 14 ounces roughly. So that could be a different thing here. And this also has a little safety measure here. The two dots line up. That's how you know it's ready to go. All right. And then there's the LED for it's on top, and the power button's on top. I'm not really, reviewing this. I'm just giving you a quick overview, just some comparisons, similarities. And this is by LAMAR. I will put the link in the description for this one too, if you're looking at this one, if it's even still available. But like I said, this is control, because the stars of the show was this, but I want you to see how well these perform versus a cheap one. Okay, a cheap one that'll get the job done in most cases. I mean, in some cases, but in most cases, you're gonna probably want one of those. But we'll see. All right, so now that we've done our little quick overview, let's get into the first test. First test, just water and ice. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this one first, just so you can see, and then I'll do those two head to head. Doing the water and ice first because okay, afterwards I'll dump the water and ice in my dog's bowl. I will speed through the parts that's necessary just to kind of speed this along a little bit as much as I can. So I got some ice in there. Make sure I don't go past the max fill line. Now remember, one thing you need to remember, and I'll say it, I've said it in all my videos, that you always have to make sure when you start these things that these things are upside down, because you have to get the blade running or it'll always jam on you. If you spin it right side up with whole pieces of ice, whole pieces of fruit or whatever, it will jam up on you. So always invert it, then start it, and then flip it back around. And then you can also help it along by just kind of slowly inverting it or inverting it back and forth, however you want to do. So let's flip it upside down, get it going. Okay, just so you can see, 10, 12 bucks for this. And it does a good job crushing ice and water. Okay, so now that we just set the pace, the other two, you're gonna see, basically we're gonna be using this to see the minimum that these two should be doing. All right, so next up we're gonna do these two bad boys right here. But before we do that, I just want to pour this out just so you can see, because I want to do pours also. Ice chunk. All right, so that's what she looks like. Ice is definitely crushed up. All right, so there you go. Okay, we back in. I took the liberty of putting ice and water in both of these up to the same level. What I will say, when you put them side by side and you're loading stuff, the Blendjet 2 is a little bit better because, as you see, it has a wider mouth, so it's a lot easier to get the items inside versus the Popbabies. All right, but however, the Popbaby does come with one of the silicone funnel that you could put around there that's a little wider top, so that way you can get the things and they'll slide down in there. So neither here nor there. I mean, so this one is just wider. This one, it comes with something that open it up so that it comes with something that open it up so that way it's a little easier. So, you know, if you forget that silicone, if you forget this silicone funnel for this, then you know you're struggling to get stuff in there. Just saying. Whereas with the Blendjet, you don't have that issue. Okay, so let's flip her upside down and start crushing some ice. So, as you can see, Blendjet first blend made mincemeat of that water and ice. Look at that. It's got little ice crystals forming over there. Look at this. First blend. All right. Popbabies, I'm going to have to blend it again, but it will work. But like I said, I'm going to have to help it along here. So, second blend. Okay. Second blend, and it still looks like there's a couple chunks in there, but for the most part, it's all blended. All right, so let's pour it out so we can see. Blendjet. Got ice water all over the place, but you see. All right, get my dog's bowl out. Okay, Popbabies. Like it's still, the chunks are too big. See? Okay, so as you saw, so the point clearly goes to Blendjet on this one. This one's all crushed up. This one you can visibly see some chunks in there, but I mean, like I said, if I had filled it up all the way with water, it would have done a better job, but that's not the whole point of this. The whole point is I want to try to do it with the minimal, so just to see the kind of power we're working with here. So Blendjet 1, Popbabies 0. Okay, we back in. We're gonna do the second test. Let's move the blenders back a little bit. Make sure we can get all the water out of here. Okay, take out our control blender. What we're gonna do this time, we're gonna do a little bit of soft fruit. Now my soft fruit is gonna, and what I mean by soft, I mean just not frozen. My soft fruit is just gonna be clementines, bananas, apples, and a little bit of celery. So let me put some of this in here and see what we're working with. Okay, we got clementines, apples, bananas, and celery. So let's see what the control blender do. Okay, one blend. Let's see what this consistency looks like. I didn't get any chunks, did you? I didn't. A couple tiny little. Yep, there's a chunk. Okay, so a couple tiny little chunks. So it's not bad though for a $10 blender. Doesn't taste like much, but from tasting it, I get very little pieces of skin. And keep in mind, this is apples with the skin on it. All right. So now that we did that, let's get into the head-to-head. Okay, we back in. I already preloaded with the celery, bananas, apples, and clementines. I also added in like 4 pieces of, or 4 ice cubes, I should say, just to cool it off, because at the end of the day, I do want to drink this. And I instead of adding water, I use some juicy juice there. So let go. Let's see how many times we're gonna have to do it. Okay, so far they're both looking good. Okay, so let's start with the Blendjet. Even though I have a feeling I already know how it's going to be, but let's just see. Let's check out this pour. It looks like it's got a couple little chunks there, as to be expected. A lot of these blenders, they have a hard time doing actual fruit when it's better when the fruit's frozen. They work a lot better when it's frozen, which is the reason why that Blendjet totally annihilated that ice challenge. So I'm gonna run the Blendjet a second time just to get those little bits. Now the chunks weren't that big, so I do want to say that they were little chunks, but I like it silky. I like it as smooth as possible. That's just my personal preference. Okay, so let's check out the Popbabies. See what the chunks do in this. Okay, there's some visible chunk. There's some big hunky chunks, but I mean it's still blended. I mean, me personally, like I said, I can deal with some chunks. I prefer it smooth. I mean, I know what I just said with the Blendjet, but I mean, if I had to, like if this is the only blender I had, I would, like I said, once you blend it twice, it's going to get rid of a lot of this stuff. But I just want to point out the similarities, and I'm constantly spilling. Like, why do I keep spilling? Like, it's like right there. It's hard doing this stuff from behind the camera. Wipe this up a little bit. Okay, so put the lid back on this. Okay, so now that it's all pretty much blended, I don't have to invert it for the second run. So let's run it a second time. Something at the bottom. All right, second time. Let's go. All right, just to give it a little bit of help at the end, even though. What was that? Yeah, sort of, kind of. Just making some fruit smoothies. It's my neighbor next door. No, they're 2 like portable blenders, they're rechargeable blenders. They're kind of like a Ninja Bullet, but better because you could take it with you to the beach or to wherever, and they're not that expensive. I'm actually doing reviews on them now, so I'll send you the link so you can check them out. All right, like I said before, that was my neighbor. He's out barbecuing while I'm doing these. He's thinking I'm over here making margaritas because that's pretty much what I'm usually doing. I've made many margaritas with this bad boy. All right, so let's check the Blendjet out for the pour. Yeah, baby, look at that. Silky, silky smooth. Let's give a little taste of that. And it's good. No bits. None of that stuff. That's what I like. Okay. So that was good. All right, let's check out the Popbabies. Still kind of, I mean, there's still very little chunks. I mean, they did a better job. Me personally, I would probably, let me see, let me taste it. Yeah, there's definitely still a little bit more chunks in here. I would run it a third time. I'm not going to do it, but I would definitely run this a third time. It definitely, like I said, for $23, it definitely does the job. All right, $23, right? I would say this one was probably better than that one, to be honest with you, than the Popbabies. I mean, like I said, the Popbabies no slouch, but for this particular test, I mean, I probably use more water on this one just because I'm compensating for this, because I know this isn't as powerful. But you know, doing the same test, I mean, the only difference is I use water on this one, I use grape juice on that. And this one came out a little bit smoother than this. But like I said, if I run this a third time, then it'll definitely be good. So let me just clean these out, and then we're gonna do the frozen fruit test. Catch you on the flip. All right, we back in for round 3. Oh yeah, by the way, last round also goes to the Blendjet, because even though they both took 2 blends, the Blendjet blend came out a lot smoother. And maybe the second round, this one should get a point, because this one actually was a little bit better than the Popbabies. But it's like I said, this is just control. So Blendjet 2, Popbaby 0. Now, you know, obviously you're seeing that Blendjet is starting to come out to be far superior than the Popbabies. But I just want to point out that, don't get me wrong, the Popbabies, I've had the Popbabies for, I'm going to probably say about 6-7 months now. I've only had the Blendjet for a couple weeks. The Popbabies, like I said, until I got the Blendjet, the Popbabies was doing everything for me. Like I said, I had to finagle with it a little bit more. I had to maybe run the blend, 2-3 times in some cases. But this is where I think, on this test right here, I think is when the Popbabies is going to shine, the frozen test, because this blender has been in my bar the entire time, and I've done nothing but make margaritas, as you heard my neighbor say. Margaritas and all kinds of frozen drinks and stuff like that. So I expect the Popbabies to be on par with the Blendjet on this one, but we gonna see. So we're gonna do the control. We're gonna hit it with some frozen dark cherries and some mixed fruit and some grape juice. So let me load this up, and then we'll get it started. Okay, we back in. We're all loaded up. We got frozen fruit and grape juice, no ice. All right, so let go. It's charged. What's happening here? Hold on a second. Okay, let's try it again. I think I had a little bit too filled up. That's the one thing about this thing. If it's too filled, it will not run at all. So hopefully it'll go this time. It's not going. That's weird. Oh, there we go. Okay, just by listening to it, I could tell I would have to run this a second time. But let's do a pour and see. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Second run. Second run. Okay. That felt like it didn't get everything, but we're only doing 2. I'm not doing more than 2 runs. Keep in mind, $10 blender, all right? You shouldn't be getting this much out of a $10 blender, to be honest with you. Okay, I mean, I saw 3 little small chunks, but that was a good pour. Nice and cold. This is really good. Really good. Okay, I just caught that little chunk. Wasn't that big. Okay, so that's the control. So now let's load up the 2 big boys. Okay, we back in. We got them all loaded up. Like I said, the fruit medley here. We got the sweet, dark sweet cherries, and then the fruit medleys has peaches, strawberries, pineapples, honeydew, melon balls, and red seedless grapes. Okay, and then of course got a couple ounces of the white grape juice. So hey, let's get it. Okay, right off the bat, what I like about the the Blendjet is that it started getting to a point where it was too icy to spin, but the way that the vortex is set off, because if you notice when you look down in the Blendjet, the blades aren't centered, they're off slightly to the side, and that makes for a different type of vortex. So it pulls the whatever you're blending down to the side to a smaller area to where it can actually blend it up. And I guess that's what happened here. It started getting to a point where it was too icy, but then it just powered through and started pulling the chunks down, which caused another vortex and pull it down. Whereas the Popbabies, it just sat there and spun for a minute, which would lead me to believe that it probably didn't blend everything. But we're gonna see. But it did finally catch up near the end of the blend on this. But by the end of the blend, it only had like a second or 2 left in the blend, so it wasn't nearly enough time. But let's see what we got. Let's go with the Blendjet first. Okay, that's a thick pour, and here goes a chunk that didn't get blended. Okay, which is to be expected. There were some thick pieces of strawberries in this, so I already kind of knew that I was going to have to blend it twice. But like I said, these aren't Blendtex or Vitamix blenders, okay? So they have power, but nowhere near as much power as those blenders. So when you get these, you got to kind of set your expectations to know that it's going to be good enough for small blending jobs, small basic blending jobs, but no big blending jobs. And keep in mind that here's another caveat to that whole equation. Let me do a pour on this first before we do a second blend. Okay. Oh, it's looking about the same. Looking about the same. Oh snap! See, and that's why I said this is where this is going to shine. See, there's no chunks in this one, and that's why I said this is where the Popbaby is going to shine. I've been making margaritas with this bad boy for months now, so this bad boy is seasoned, and I know that it works. I would still blend it again because, as you can see, it's still a little thick. Can't even get it to pour out. So still going to do a second blend. Okay, but back to what I was saying before. The caveat on the whole portable blender thing is that when you run a Blendjet or a Vitamix, the average blend time that those things run are minimum a minute, depending on what you blend. I know in my Blend Tech it has different things. Some are 60 seconds, some are 90 seconds, depending on whether you're doing smoothies, you're doing soups, or whatever have you. There's different blend times, but the minimum is 60 seconds. Now, these run 20 seconds each. So, and the most I've ran these so far is 2 times. And within 2 blends, these portable blenders do pretty much what Blend Tech would do. I mean, obviously not making soups and stuff like that, but you know, more or less, you know, blending fruits in ice in water, you know, is pretty much what you're using a blender for, and that's doing it within 2 blends. So in 40 seconds, so in 2/3 the time, you're doing what a good quality blender would do. So, I mean, that's how you have to look at it. You don't look at it as how, oh, I got to blend it more than 1 time, it's not worth it. No, you got to look at it like, if you were running your actual blender is running 3 times long on it. Yeah, you're only pressing the button once, but it's running 3 times as long as one of these blenders. So what you have to press the button 2 or 3 times to accomplish the same thing as your regular full blender does. But here goes something your full blender can't do. Your full blender, you can't throw it in your gym bag and take it to the gym with you and have a fresh smoothie at the gym. Your full blender, you can't take it to the beach with you and have margaritas sitting at the freaking ocean. You can't do that with a full blender, not unless you bring a generator, because you can't even bring like a battery pack to power a blender. I mean, a full-size blender, because they take too much power. You need a generator to do that. This is doing it off of a freaking, you know, lithium-ion battery. So technology, right? All right, so now that I did my little rant about this, let's go second blend. Lego. All right. Now this is where it's going to get interesting. We should have good pours on both. Look at that, silky smooth. Silky smooth. I likes that. Silky smooth. See, now this is where the wide mouth comes in. As you see, when I poured it back, there was no spill. Whereas I was having an issue with the Popbabies because they're because it doesn't have a wide spout. However, like I said, if I'd remembered the little silicone funnel, I wouldn't have that problem. But like I said, you know, if you're running out the door trying to run to work or run the gym before you get to go to work in the morning, you may run out and may forget that silicone funnel. So you're just gonna have to have good aim. Okay, so the Blendjet had a good pour. See what that Popbabies do. Popbabies, similar pour. Well, the Popbabies had a good pour on the first one. So I'm gonna give this one to the Popbabies only by like a hair. I mean, they're both similar, but like, I'm gonna give it this one, give it to Popbabies only by a hair. Only because I knew that, like I said, I've been using this one for several months, and I knew that once we started getting frozen stuff, that it was gonna perform the way that it should perform, all right? I mean, obviously, if I run these a 3rd time, you're gonna be dealing with water here. So, oh, I didn't even taste these bad boys. I just poured it back in there. So let me taste my, even though I already know what it's going to taste like, because I already tasted it in the control. It's the same mixture I did. Okay, I got a little chunk of something. It wasn't a big chunk, just a tiny little chunk. But for the most part, nice and smooth. Okay, that was the Blendjet. Now let's taste the Popbabies. All right, no chunks. So I was right. The Popbabies squeaks by on this one. So we have 2-to-1 Blendjet. So what I think I'm going to do, just to confirm it, we're going to do runtime. I'm going to do the runtime test. Let me clean these bad boys out. And I'm just going to put water in this bad boy and just keep pressing the blend button and count how many times we do it until it stops, until it doesn't blend anymore. So catch you on the other side. Okay, we back in. So far the Blendjet is 2, Popbabies is 1. I got them both filled up with 14 ounces of water, up to their respective 14-ounce mark on both of these bad boys. Yeah, 14 ounces there, 14 ounces there. All right. So far, I had to run the Blendjet once in the first round, twice in the second round, twice in the third round. I had to run the Popbabies twice in all 3 rounds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the Blendjet once here, just so it can catch up to there, and then we'll be 6-6. Okay, so let go. And this is the vortex thing I was telling you about. You see how the way that a vortex is up, it kind of curves and pulls it around? That's exactly what I was telling you about. And that's the reason why it's able to get those bits, because it forces it all down to the corner, and then it keeps agitating it till it pulls it up and then pulls it back down. Okay. So now that we did that, now we're at 6-6. So I'm gonna speed past all these blends just so you know, I don't bore you just sitting here watching water spin. All right, so here we go. Number 7. Okay, you were definitely able to see the difference between the two, how it has a little curved vortex in, and this is just a straight up and down whirl pool effect going on there. So that's the difference in how this is able to, you know, blend things a little bit better than this one. Okay, so that was 7. Here goes 8. Okay, here goes number 9. 10. You know, it's crazy when you're looking at these blends, how it's curving like that. I mean, it kind of looks like an actual tornado, which if Blendjets, the people of Blendjet, like purposely designed that, you know, taking a page from a tornado, how it's able to do so much destruction, maybe that whole curvature in the spinning motion has something to do with that. If they purposely designed this to do that, bravo Blendjet, bravo, because it obviously is working. 11. 12. 13. 14. 'As you see, the Popbabies, it has like a little cooldown. That's why I kept blinking like that. That's the reason why I couldn't press the button before, because it wouldn't let me, because it needed a couple seconds to cool down. But when that stops blinking, you can, that's when you can go. Whereas Blendjet, I think you can just go right away. Okay, number 15. 16. 15. Okay, as you saw there, I did that on purpose. I wanted to see if you can press the Blendjet button directly after the last one spins, and it does. You can go back-to-back blends with the Blendjet, whereas the Popbabies, you need about, I'm going to say about a 5-second cooldown. Okay, number 17. $18. 19. 20. 21. Okay, so far that's 21 blends. I just want to point out that Blendjet, they tell you that they could do 15 blends on a charge. And already we're at 33% more than what they promised. So I call that the Red Lobster effect. The Red Lobster effect. You know, when you go to Red Lobster or any restaurant like Fridays or Applebee's where you have to wait in line to be seated or whatever, and they tell you, oh, the wait time is going to be, you know, the wait time is going to be an hour, but then they seat you in 35, 45 minutes, so you're happy because they seated you in less time than what they told you. Well, I call that the Red Lobster effect, because Blendjet, they promised you 15, but they actually are giving you more. I think Popbabies stated, I'm not even sure what Popbabies stated. They may have stated 30. Don't quote me on that. But we're going to see how many we're going to get. So, 22. Okay, Fizzly by touch here. Popbabies is starting to get warm, whereas Blendjet still feels good. So just want to point that out. 23. And when I say warm, I mean just like slightly warm. Like you feel it. It's not, you know, cool anymore. It's just you feel that it's starting to get warm. It's not getting hot by any means. All right, 24. 25. That's it, Blendjet. So 24 on the Blendjet. Okay. 24 on the Blendjet. So far we're at 25 for the Popbabies. So far they're offering you 10 more blends than what they well, 9 more blends than what they promised. In the book, they said 15 blends, and I just got 24. So, another thing I wanted to point out while I'm doing this, you see just by this one going by itself now, you see that the sound is much louder on this bad boy than it is on this one. So, this one sounds probably about, I mean, it's not that loud. Don't get it twisted. It's nowhere near the sound of an actual blender, you know, but this one, the Popbabies is about, I'm going to say probably about 30 to 40% quieter than the Blendjet, but the Blendjet has more power. So, you know, I guess power equals more noise, you know, take that for what it's worth. Okay. So now we're on 26 for Popbabies. $27. $28. $29. Now I don't know if you can hear that. you heard the engine getting or the motor getting quiet, like revving down. So as you see, it's red right there. So I got 29 blends out of this bad boy. I'm not sure if they said 30, but I guess you can call that 30, because if I was only blending water all the time, but when I had to work and it didn't have to work hard to crush the fruit and all that other stuff, I probably would. I'm sure I would have got another blend out of this bad boy. So 29, 30 is right on par with what Popbabies is stating. Let's just press the button just for shits and giggles, just to make sure. Oh, there we go. It's going again. Okay, but it stopped. Okay, so it definitely would have got 30 had we only been blending like more simple things. I mean, I really beat it up with the ice test and then the frozen fruit test. So that takes crushing ice takes a lot more power than just blending just plain fruit and water, you know, or soft materials. So let me bring the other one back and close out the video. Okay, now it's getting dark out here. Let's just finish this out. So I want to say, me personally, I clearly pick the Blendjet over the Popbabies. Obviously because more power. It's able to pulverize the whatever you're blending a lot easier, and it comes out a lot better. You're getting about 20. You're getting I said 20. You're getting about 60% more usage out more than what they promised. And I don't know if they did that on purpose. They promised you 15, knowing they're giving you more, so that way you're happy. Like I said, the Red Lobster effect. But even still, 24 blends is very good for a rechargeable blender. So 24 blends, you figure the average smoothie or whatever you're blending twice, so you're getting 12 smoothies out of that before you have to recharge it. Whereas this one, you're getting 30 blends. So at 2 per smoothie, you're getting 15 smoothies out of that one. So now, here's my thing. Price. If you were still getting this for what I paid for, which is 23, 24 bucks, or even if it was like 28 bucks, I would say hands down, Popbabies is more value for what you get. But because they raised the price up to $36 for this, then that puts it only $9, $10 less than the Blendjet. Sorry about that, my battery died, so I had to charge it up a little bit, and in the meantime it got dark, so I'm just going to finish up this review. Sorry about the glare. I needed a little bit of light on this bad boy, but let me see if I can turn it down a little bit. Alright, that should be a little bit better. Okay, like I was saying before, for the battery died, at a $9, $10 difference for the Blendjet over the cost-wise over the Popbabies. I'm thinking for that $9, $10, I would just go for I would just get the Blendjet. I mean, because you know what they say, you get what you pay for, right? So the Blendjet clearly performs as it should. Everything, you know, like I said, the Popbabies won the one round with the frozen fruit, but by like a hair, but like literally a hair, you know. So I mean, that I gave it to it because it was a little bit better, but you know, Blendjet just consistently outperformed everything else. And even like I said before, with they're telling you get 15 blends on a charge, and I was able to get 24. You know, could just be the Red Lobster effect, like I said before, but you know, that's what they said, and that's what I got. The Popbabies said 30 blends, and I got 30 blends more or less. You know, I actually did get 30 blends. It cut halfway out after I blended it again. But so if Popbabies were to offer like a $10 off coupon, you know how like when you go on Amazon and you see like a little $10 off situation, if they were to offer a $10 off and bring that back down to like 26, 27 bucks all day, I would recommend Popbabies. But as it stands at the price of $36, Blendjet, I mean, clearly I would buy Blendjet. And another thing with Blendjet, Blendjet has mad more colors and designs. I mean, I counted about 20, whereas Popbabies just has like 4 or 5 colors. and they're basic colors. So I mean, if you're fine with those 4 or 5 colors, you know, whatever. Me, I always get black. So it wouldn't have mattered to me whatever colors, but some people may be into that. I mean, although I wish I had there's a carbon fiber one that came out the day after I bought this one, and I love carbon fiber, and I absolutely would have bought the carbon fiber one of the Blendjet had, you know, I bought it, you know, had it been available when I bought it instead of just buying the black. I mean, black's usually my go-to, but carbon fiber is like, to me, is black on steroids. Like, all my phone cases are carbon fiber cases and everything, and you know, I love that pattern. So maybe I might bite the bullet sometime down the line and buy another Blendjet and get a carbon fiber one that time. I don't know, we'll see. But as far as this review, I'm gonna go with the Blendjet as it stands for the price. Like I said, Blendjet, it's pretty easy to get a 10% off coupon, bringing the price down to 45 bucks. The price is 50, but they bring it down with a 10% off. They bring it down to 45 bucks. Popbabies is $36, $37 at a $9 difference. Gotta go with my boy. Like, you know, I really. Oh yeah, one more thing. Oh, because I didn't point it out, that these bad boys have locks on them. If you were to hold down the buttons for a couple seconds, it would lock the blade. I don't remember pointing those out in my actual reviews of these bad boys, and I think that's a nice safety feature to make sure that you don't have to worry about a kid picking it up and start pressing buttons and blending stuff. If you have kids running around that these are within reach of them, especially if you're on the beach or something like that with these bad boys, you can always just hold down the button for 2 seconds to lock the blade, and then it's the same process to unlock the blade, and they both have that feature. And another feature that puts the Blendjet, you know, over the Popbabies for me, other than the fact that they blended a smoothie in space. I mean, I don't know how many people saw that video. I mean, I know it's, if you go to their actual website, they actually had that video as their promo video up there, but they blended a smoothie in space. That was crazy. But other than that, if you were to drop that into a pool or a hot tub or whatever, so if you're making, like me, I make drinks by the hot tub all the time. I have a hot tub, I have a whole little mini bar set up by there, and I'm usually making frozen something while I'm sitting in the hot tub. You know, the hot and cold go together to me. And once you get a couple of these once you get a couple drinks and you start getting in the bag there, it's not unlikely for you to accidentally knock it over or drop it. And should it so happen to fall in the hot tub, this bad boy is fine. You can take it right back out and start blending. It's completely sealed all around. So if you were to drop this bad boy in there, you good. Whereas I can't say the same for Popbabies. I imagine it's a blender, so you know, I'm sure it can get wet. You know, I know it can get wet, and that's pretty much it. I would not submerge that. So if you were blending on the sink on the edge of the counter or something like that and accidentally knock that into a sink full of water, you might be donezo with the Popbabies. Whereas Blendjet, you're still good to go. So I'll just leave you with that. My recommendation as it stands, Blendjet over Popbabies, but that's just my opinion. You saw everything I did. You make your own opinion. I'll put the links for both of these down in the description. Also, I'll put the link in the description for the other cheap one. That's even if it's still available. So there goes head to head, Blendjet versus Popbabies. I'm Team Blendjet right now. So with that being said, I'm Nez, and this has been an head to head, like I just said, of the Popbabies versus Blendjet. You decide. Links are in the description. If you were to use those links, it would help me out. Or at least with the Popbabies, it would help me out. The Blendjet is just a link directly to their website, and then you can, you know, choose for there. Although it would be nice if Blendjet gave me some kind of affiliate link. That would be nice. But that's for another discussion. You decide. Links in the description. And I'm out this piece.